Hi everyone and welcome to our Thursday TNT. Thanks for the great viewing numbers yesterday and a lot of really interesting comments. Always appreciated when you take the time to tap in a few comments under the program. And don't forget to subscribe to the program if you haven't already done so. And as they say here around YouTube, click that like button or something like that. So a few follow-up stories to start with today, starting with this one in the Bangkok Post. Abducted Chinese pair released. So this was an incident that originally happened back on Monday in Pattaya. Let's check the latest. Two abducted Chinese nationals returned to their home in Pattaya early Wednesday morning, exhausted and dishevelled after their ordeal and the payment of a ransom. A 33-year-old woman and her 50-year-old brother-in-law were reunited with her husband, a 33-year-old. On Monday, Mr. Mar, a businessman, told police that his wife and his brother were abducted that morning from their Nissan vehicle after taking his 3-year-old to school. So the man told police he'd received a ransom demand for their safe return and admitted that he'd transferred money to the gang. So what happened to these people? Well, police said they found the Mitsubishi used in the abduction at Suvarnabhumi Airport, and they arrested a Chinese man aged 29 before he could board a flight back to China. Another Chinese suspect aged 33 had already left through Don Mueang Airport on Tuesday morning for Shanghai. Let's hope that he can be apprehended and brought back to Thailand to face justice. Now, another follow-up for a story. This was last week when a gentleman, and I think he was 70 years old, was trying to climb the Tiger Cave Temple in Krabi, a temple that I've actually climbed myself. And it's no easy climb. There's about 1,260 stairs. I mean, the view once you get up to the top is amazing, but something that you wouldn't be attempting unless you were reasonably fit. I wasn't. Anyway, the news.com.au says that an Australian man who died after hiking to a popular tourist attraction in Thailand made a post on Facebook. Now, there's a problem with the formatting on this particular article, so I'm sort of helping you fill in the gaps. And he wrote on his Facebook page, just 1,000 more stairs. Edward Alkin has been identified as the 70-year-old Australian who climbed the Tiger Cave Temple near Krabi last Friday. And Krabi police told news.com.au that he was travelling alone and his motorbike was parked at the temple with a passport inside a bag. His famous last words, just 1,000 more stairs. Now, that is just, again, a warning that if you do want to attempt that, make sure that you are at least reasonably fit or prepared to take it nice and slowly and take water with you. And pick the weather as well. Obviously, it's better to go early in the morning, but yes, the view from the top is definitely worth it if you're prepared to make your way up there. Now, a follow-up from a story back on Tuesday. This is reported in nationthailand.com. A fourth immigration cop wanted for alleged kidnapping will surrender soon. That's according to Deputy Commissioner Surachat Hakpan. And he says he's confident the last immigration police officer wanted over the kidnapping of a Chinese national and his female interpreter will surrender soon after 3 of his colleagues were arrested on Tuesday. And the 4 suspects allegedly demanded a ransom of over 2 million baht in cryptocurrency in return for releasing a Chinese man during a botched passport renewal scam. And Nation Thailand says this case is the latest in a series of scandals to have hit the Royal Thai Police Force, which is itself accused of rampant criminality. More than 100 immigration officers are already facing possible bribery charges after allegedly helping thousands of Chinese to enter the country illegally to set up criminal enterprises. And they've named the 3 police officers who are currently in custody over the matter, and they've also named the 4th who they're waiting to hand himself in. And Surachat says the 3 were interrogated before being charged with extortion and misconduct of duty. It's the latest in the 4 police who have been charged for extorting money from the Chinese businessman. Now, another bit of a follow-up, and this is a post in ASEANnow.com, and it refers to the number of times you can come into Thailand without a visa and get that visa exemption. And it was a post by a person calling himself Freddie Mercury. Now, I'm doubting whether this is the actual Freddie Mercury. I'll say that up front. And let's read his story. He says, when I last arrived into Phuket, it was my third entry on a tourist visa exemption. The immigration officer said that next time I came in, I would not be allowed unless I had a visa in my passport. Like many on here, I heard that as long as you arrived by air, there was no limit on the amount of times you can use a waiver. Well, as I've said before, depending on the day and the immigration officer and whether they've had a cup of tea and a good day, you might be able to squeak in multiple times. But there's no infinite number of times that you can come in by air. That is not the case. So it's clarified here by the Embassy of Thailand in London, and it's a quote from their website. Foreigners who enter Thailand under this tourist visa exemption category may only do so for 30 days at one time, with a maximum of 3 times in a 6-month period by flight and 2 times a year for overland crossing. So there it is in black and white from the Embassy of Thailand. But again, there will be some people who can come in under the radar, and depending on the day, they may be able to come in more than the time specified there in black and white. But don't bank on it if you do want to come into Thailand multiple times. The best thing is to have a visa in your passport. Now, regarding the 45-day visa waiver, that is set to finish in 7 days. And it was perhaps punctuated by a person who sent me an email yesterday. I can't remember his name, but thank you to that person. He was visiting the Thai embassy in Sydney in Australia, and he was told flat out that it will be finishing the 45-day visa waiver and going back to 30 days. Now, I wouldn't call that a confirmation, but at least that is some news we've had about it, because the Tourism Minister, the TAT, the government generally have said nothing about it for the past month. And with only 7 days to go, there's a lot of people that do want to know that if they come without a visa, if they can stay for 30 days or 45 days, because it has impact on their travel plans, on their return flights, on their hotel bookings. So, not astonishingly, but confusion abounds, and we do wait for some further confirmation if the 45-day visa waiver is going to finish on the 31st of March. And with thanks to 5-Star Marine, it's the Thursday TNT. And I think next week I'm heading out onto Phang Nga Bay with 5-Star Marine. We're still working out the plans, but I will take you with me, and we will make sure we have some fun whilst we're out there. We go to a serious story now. This is in Thai PBS World, and 36 arrested in a call centre scam preying on people in the US from Thailand. 5 Indian nationals and 31 Thais have been arrested by Thai police, supported by American officials. The gangs allegedly cheated more than 300 American senior citizens, many of them doctors, university professors and businessmen, out of over 3 billion baht. Representatives from the US Secret Service and the FBI attached to the US Embassy in Bangkok were also present at the news conference. Not sure why that's relevant to the story. The arrests of the suspects, mostly Thai women, were made in coordinated raids in Chonburi, Rayong, Royet and Suratani provinces in a joint Thai-US operation codenamed Shell Game. And the gang had obtained personal information of its potential prey from other Americans, and by pretending to be US officials, would contact their victims to inform them that they were being investigated for alleged money laundering. They then demanded that they wire money into their mule accounts if they wanted to have their cases settled without further litigation. When the money was wired, it would be immediately withdrawn and given to the Indian masterminds, who would then transfer the money to elsewhere to avoid detection. So there is another scam that's happening online. Just be very wary if you're getting unsolicited phone calls and or emails that you don't know who they're from. Just be very, very careful, because if it's not this online scam, there will be thousands more behind it. So be very, very careful when you are online. Now, this is a story from ThaiPBSWorld.com. Police in armed standoff with a gunman who's allegedly killed 2 in Petchaburi, and that number has been updated to 3 people who have been killed by this gunman, and about 100 police officers surrounded a house in the city district of Petchaburi province yesterday afternoon, where a man was holding out after he allegedly shot 2 people dead and injured another, and it happened in the Krungpech villa housing estate. The gunman was identified as Anuwat, and they say that he was under stress ahead of a court hearing yesterday afternoon, and witnesses claim the gunman appeared to be unstable as he randomly fired at people at the housing estate. I'm not exactly sure what happened with the outcome of that standoff, but we do know that 3 people were killed. And that story from ThaiPBSWorld.com. And we're going to The Nation now, and a special report from them, Nation Thailand.com. Nearly 7 in 10 out of school or unemployed youth in Thailand lack the motivation to develop. Sort of ran out of room on the headline page there. Let's go to the story in nationthailand.com. The rising share of youth who are not in employment, education or training, described as NEET in Thailand, represents a concerning social and economic phenomenon. While nearly 1.4 million, that's about 15% of the youth aged 15 to 24 years in Thailand, are described as NEET, a new UNICEF-led study released yesterday finds most of them, that's 68%, lack the motivation to develop skills or work due to the perceived lack of opportunities. Now, we've been talking a lot about the number of jobs that are available and the inability of people in the hospitality industry, aviation industry, tourism industry generally to find people to work. And so marry that with this report, and at least it is part of the answer. Story goes on. The new study, in-depth research on youth not in employment, education or training in Thailand, is the first in-depth study that provides a comprehensive picture, and it's been conducted by Chulalongkorn University and supported by UNICEF. And the study investigates the factors that contribute to young people's exclusion from the education system and the labour market, and identifies gaps in existing policies and services. And about 70% of youth that are described as NEET are female, most of whom dropped out of school due to pregnancy or caring responsibilities. Yet the causes of NEET are complex and multifaceted, says the study. Factors such as gender, ethnicity, health, low educational attainment, lack of opportunities and support, poor socio-economic conditions, as well as skill mismatch are putting young people at the risk of becoming NEET. So you can read the rest of that NEET report at nationthailand.com, and it does provide another layer of complexity when it comes to explaining what's happening with young people and the employment industry at the moment. Now, you can't describe these next people as NEET. This is a story in the Straits Times. Thai hot guy event in KL cancelled after police warning. I'm sure a lot of you are reeling in horror at this particular story. And the Straits Times says that after Thai K-pop singer Lisa and her Blackpink bandmates, a group of Thai hunks are the latest performers to draw flack from local politicians as they prepare to go on stage in Malaysia. Now, I'm not really sure why they drag Lisa and Blackpink into this story. Were they just performing in KL? I'm not really sure why they got referred to in the story, but the dancing, cross-dressing hunks employed by Thai restaurant Stani Mi Hoi for the opening of a privacy club. Privacy club? What's a privacy club in KL? Will not get to perform on March 30th as planned after the Malaysian police ordered the event cancelled on Wednesday. A Malaysian MP had earlier denounced the event for promoting a culture of hedonism, obscenity and free sex. I think he's been missing out on all 3 of those. Just checking the photo there, I think you could probably denounce them for bad fashion sense, but I'm not sure if you could go much further than that. Anyway, let's go on with the story. He said it's in conflict with the local culture and insensitive to the position of Islam as the official religion, let alone it being held in the month of Ramadan. And that came from the PAS, one of the political parties, Secretary General. And the superintendent said the police had issued a stern warning to the club and its management, and the organisers have agreed to cancel the event. So rip up your tickets. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sure you're very disappointed, but the event will not be happening. There's no free sex or fun in Malaysia. And with that very sad news, we come to the end of our program today. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. There's a button somewhere down there. Click the like button on your way out, and we'll do it all again tomorrow.